The concept of reality being a simulation is a philosophical hypothesis that suggests that the world as we know it might not be real, but instead, it's a simulated, or virtual, reality. This idea has been popularized in science fiction, most notably in films like The Matrix. As an AI, I don't have beliefs or opinions, but I can tell you that this idea is often discussed in the realms of philosophy and theoretical physics. Some proponents argue that advances in technology could one day allow for simulations that are indistinguishable from reality. And if that's possible, how can you be sure it hasn't already happened? However, it's important to note that this is a hypothesis and not a proven theory. There's currently no empirical evidence to support the idea that we're living in a simulation. It's a fascinating concept to ponder, but for now, it remains firmly in the realm of speculation and science fiction.
Well, yeah, well, how can you, what about all the glitches in the Matrix then?
The concept of glitches in the Matrix is a popular trope that comes from the Matrix movie series. In the films, characters occasionally experience moments where the simulated reality doesn't behave as expected, revealing its artificial nature. These glitches are often used as a metaphor for unexplained or strange phenomena in the real world. In reality, unexplained phenomena or glitches can often be attributed to a variety of factors, including natural phenomena, optical illusions, cognitive biases, or even simple misunderstandings or misinterpretations of the situation at hand. While these occurrences can be intriguing and sometimes unsettling, they don't provide empirical evidence for the simulation hypothesis. It's also worth noting that our understanding of the universe and the laws of physics is still evolving. There are many phenomena that we don't fully understand yet, and what might seem like a glitch could simply be a gap in our current knowledge. As an AI, I don't have personal experiences or beliefs, but I can provide information based on the data I was trained on. The idea of glitches in a matrix is a fascinating concept from a philosophical and speculative standpoint, but it's not supported by current scientific evidence.
Okay, well, I'm just saying, say you had to argue that we were living in a simulation, how would you argue it?
If I were to argue in favor of the simulation hypothesis, I might present the following points. Technological progress. Given the rate of technological progress, it's conceivable that future civilizations could have the capability to create highly sophisticated simulations of reality. If such simulations are possible, it raises the question of how we can be sure we're not already living in one. The Fermi paradox. This is the apparent contradiction between the high probability of extraterrestrial life and the lack of contact with such civilizations. One possible explanation proposed for the Fermi paradox is that advanced civilizations are all simulations, or are avoiding creating simulations for fear of the consequences. The fine-tuned universe. Some physicists have noted that our universe seems to be fine-tuned for the existence of life. The fundamental constants of physics are such that small changes will make life as we know it impossible. Some argue that this could be evidence that our universe was designed, possibly as a simulation. Quantum physics. Some interpretations of quantum physics suggest that reality doesn't exist until it's observed. This has been compared to how objects in a video game might not be rendered until a player interacts with them, suggesting a possible parallel with a simulated reality. The holographic principle. This is a principle in string theory that suggests the entire 3D universe can be seen as two-dimensional information encoded on the horizon of a black hole. This has been interpreted by some as evidence that we live in a holographic simulation. Remember, these are speculative arguments and are not widely accepted as evidence that we live in a simulation. The simulation hypothesis is a philosophical idea and is not currently testable or falsifiable, which is a key criterion for a scientific theory. It's an interesting concept to ponder, but it's important to distinguish between speculative ideas and empirically supported scientific theories. If I were to argue in favor of the simulation hypothesis, I might present the following points. Technological progress. Given the rate of technological progress, it's conceivable that future civilizations could have the capability to create highly sophisticated simulations of reality. If such simulations are possible, it raises the question of how we can be sure we're not already living in one. The Fermi paradox. This is the apparent contradiction between the high probability of extraterrestrial life and the lack of contact with such civilizations. One possible explanation proposed for the Fermi paradox is that advanced civilizations are all simulations, or are avoiding creating simulations for fear of the consequences. The fine-tuned universe. Some physicists have noted that our universe seems to be fine-tuned for the existence of life. The fundamental constants of physics are such that small changes will make life as we know it impossible. Some argue that this could be evidence that our universe was designed, possibly as a simulation.